Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All of our guests today, and there are three of them, including Ian Furness standing by from KJR. Brought to you by Langley Chrysler. Don't struggle to find a great deal on newer used vehicles when Langley Chrysler has over 200 vehicles on the lot. Save up to $10,500 on Ram at Langley Chrysler. In-store or online at langleychrysler.com. Seahawks host the Saints on Monday. The Kraken's first ever home opener, regular season home opener, Saturday against the Canucks of Vancouver. Joining us now from Fox 13 Sports and KJR, the temporary voice of the Kraken, Ian Furness. How are you, sir? I bet the answer is tired.
Yeah, temporary. I put on waivers, whatever. So, yeah. How are you?
Good. So just to let people know, Everett Fitzhugh goes into COVID protocol. The voice of the Kraken on KJR, right off the bat. The Kraken need a radio play-by-play voice. They call on you. Take it from there. How'd you get the news? How'd you enjoy the experience?
Well, I got the news on late Sunday. They called. I got a call that maybe there would be something happening, and then Monday you guys know how this business works. No one wants to make a decision, and so by Tuesday they said, yeah, you need to be flying to Nashville on Wednesday, and then from Nashville to Columbus to Pittsburgh to do a Seahawks game, then to Philadelphia and New Jersey. So it was a whirlwind. The hardest part was just the logistics of everything, trying to figure out how to get from one place to a second place, who's paying for it. So it was just a logistical gong show, to be honest with you. But doing the games was fun, certainly, temporarily. But it was crazy. And then squeezed a Seahawks game in between on the Sunday night, and it happened to be a Sunday night football game that went into overtime, of course. And then I had a 6 a.m. flight the next day. So it was a wild few days. I'm
laughing because we've all been there. When you're bucking up for the flight from Pittsburgh to Vancouver, whatever the case may be. Like, am I going to get this? Is it going to be a hassle when I expense this?
I'm still wondering that.
Last second, nobody's making a decision. I love this business, though. When's the last time you did play-by-play for hockey play-by-play for people that don't know?
Well, I've done TV. We've done games for the WHL on TV for the last 10 years on First Root Sports, and then on a local on the Fox, our secondary station with Fox Plus. So I've done TV hockey for the last few years. Okay. About seven or eight games a year. But I hadn't done a radio game, much less a radio game by myself, in about 20 years.
You sounded great, by the way. We all checked it in.
Very good.
You sounded great.
That. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Like you said, no analyst. So they're 1-2-1 after 4 road games.
Right.
Going into the game against the Canucks on Saturday. What stood out?
Well, take the Canucks, whatever the betting line is.
Okay.
They're not very good. They're not Vegas. They can't score. If they make a mistake in their own end, the puck's in the back of the net. It's really an interesting team to watch. They've got a bunch of forwards that are pretty good for second or third line guys. They don't have a top line. The defense is okay. I thought they would be better. Giordano's been just okay. Grubauer's been really good. I mean, he led in a bunch in Philadelphia the night. If you kind of look at the game and the highlights, none were his fault. The last one maybe tried to squeeze the patch. It kind of snuck in. By then he was beleaguered. I mean, it was just, it's been an onslaught. Your guy Cole Lind, awful. It was,
whoa!
It was just a weird. I mean, my thought with them is they're really. They play hard. I mean, Hackstall has them playing hard. They just don't have any guys that can finish. They don't have a lot of creativity up front. I think it's going to be a struggle. I think they're going to play a lot of one-goal games. I think that's going to be the norm, playing a lot of one-goal games. And, how do those go? 50-50, right? I mean, it's so they're going to be – I thought going into the year they might be – it would be them in Vancouver for that third spot. I don't think so. I think they're going to it's going to be an interesting year. I think they're going to struggle to score goals.
So, Ian, you're talking on the ice struggles. I don't see the struggles off the ice. 20% of all NHL merchandise revenue is Kraken stuff. So people are buying. Somebody's excited about this team.
Well, the stuff looks good.
Yeah,
I mean, uniforms look
it's
good.
really, really well done, the uniforms.
Right? Yeah, they look good. I really like the roads. The road whites I thought were fantastic looking. From a broadcaster standpoint, they're easy to see.
Yeah,
so, number one.
But you know what? Honestly, I think teams forget about that. I mean, if you're trying to sell jerseys, especially with guys' names on the back, it's nice to be able to see names and numbers. And they did a really good job with that. And the logos are crisp, they're clean, they're nice. So yeah, I mean, I think off the ice, at least in terms of merchandise, it's good. There's a lot of. It's going to be an interesting go, fellas. Like they had a little preview to the arena the other night for some VIPs, of which there were like 10,000 of them. I didn't know we had 10,000 VIPs in Seattle, much less 10. But they had like they had a concert with the Foo Fighters, I think it was, and all the media guys that were there and women taking pictures. And I mean, $9 for a bottle of water, for example.
What? Come on.
Yeah. There is some sticker shock going. I don't know what it is in Vancouver. I did a little bit of a peek around when I was in Nashville and other places. I would say Seattle is a couple dollars higher at least in most of the stuff they're selling inside the building, and then parking's a disaster as well. So anyway, yeah, it's kind of a weird dynamic. I mean, I think maybe we're used to it in the States with T-Mobile and Lumen Field with the Seahawks and the Mariners, but we'll see.
Okay, we got a big Monday nighter, Saints, Seahawks. First of all, Russell Wilson update. The coach said yesterday he's a little bit closer. Are you buying into that or no?
Nobody heals like Russ, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when you're Superman, it's it's really easy to do so. I mean, I heard he's got he's got some sort of 75% mobility in his finger now.
Ooh, that might be enough.
I don't know, man. The quarterback situation, I don't think is the issue. The issue for this football team is pretty simple. They paid some guys to get to the quarterback on the other side of the football, and they haven't done so. Carlos Dunlap has no sacks. Jamal Adams is at 0. Kerry Hyder doesn't have a sack. And I think that's the bigger problem, fellas. Geno Smith, I think, can navigate you to some wins. I really do. I think he can do that, especially if Alex Collins is healthy and running the football. The problem is on the other side. Now, the one bright spot, Trey Brown came in and played his first game, the rookie corner. He was sensational. He may be maybe one of the best tackles ever.
Yes.
I mean, Farhan's going to use that for his coaching, wherever the hell he's coaching at these days, right? It's like, I mean, it's just that form tackle, that tackle was a thing of beauty. And Trey Brown and DJ Reed have kind of solidified the corner position, I think. The problem is up front. Jamal Adams is an absolute ghost, hasn't done anything. And Dunlap and Kerry Hyder are also being paid to get to the quarterback, and neither has done so far. So as much as we want to focus, and we do focus in on the offense and the quarterback, I get all of that. It is the other side of the football that is a problem for this team right now.
You're really selling Seattle sports today, Ian. I got to say, the Kraken suck. The Seahawks are terrible.
Listen, I could come on and tell you guys, hey, man, the Kraken. I'd love to come on and say the Kraken are going to smack the Canucks around and all that. I mean, I can't. They can't score, guys. They cannot score. And so, now the Seahawks, on the other hand, listen, we're so used to – I mean, Donnie, you and I have been doing this for years, right? Mm-hmm. And usually we come on and you'll say, what do you think is going to happen? And, you and me, Moj, whoever it is, we're sitting there and I say, well, I think the Seahawks are good. It was rare over the last 10 years that I went into a game and thought, wow, the Seahawks are in trouble in this one. I mean, it just wasn't happening. Personnel-wise, they always were better. That's not the case anymore. Mm-hmm. And it should be on paper. Again, I mean, we're talking about Jamal Adams, Carlos Dunlap. Kerry Hyder was a free agent acquisition. You still have Bobby Wagner. I like Jordan Brooks as a linebacker. You've got guys. You've got dudes. They've invested a ton of money. Dwayne Brown, they invested a ton of money in. He got whipped the other day. I mean, it was like he looked like a pylon out there. And so all these guys that are high-priced, they're not performing. And as you guys well know in the NHL, it's just the same thing. Salary cap league, your top guys have to play like top guys. And
time.
Right now for the Seahawks, they just aren't doing that. And that's what's kind of frustrating, I think, when people watch them. It's not a Geno problem. I think that's my bigger point to you guys. It's not a Geno Smith. He made a throw. That throw he made in overtime to Tyler Lockett, I don't know if you remember, like down the seam over the middle. I don't know. Russ is great, and Russ makes that throw maybe too, although I don't know if he sees over. Just there's a reality of being 5'10 and a half. That throw was a big-time NFL throw, and not every quarterback. Case Keenum doesn't make that throw last night for Cleveland, for example, even though they won. Geno's fine. Alex Collins is a pleasure to watch. I mean, he is fun to watch, and he's a great story coming back from all the stuff he came back from. You can root for him. But the problem is if you can't stop the other team, You know, like if you give up third down conversion after third down conversion, and if you have untimely turnovers, it just doesn't matter. And they just don't have the guys. They don't have Sherm and Earl in their prime, and those guys, KJ in his prime, and Michael and Cliff up front to kind of make up for those mistakes.
You're telling it like it is, and we appreciate it. Hey, coming up next, your coworker, Dave Tomlinson, is going to join us.
I'm not his coworker. They put me on waivers, man. I'm with Cole Lind right now somewhere.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you're both.
Me and Cole Lind are floating out there somewhere on the way to Charlotte or whatever, wherever they play. So
Cole Lind's agent on line 5.
You're both drawing paychecks from KJR. How about that?
I want Cole Lind to do well. He's a kid from the Dub, man. But boy, it's hard.
Second round pick.
And left exposed in the expansion draft.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't realize what a big deal that was up here from a negative point of view. People are ripping into the Canucks.
Yeah.
I know. Well, listen, Godspeed to the Canucks and the Kraken tomorrow. It should be a fun game. By the way, it's not on local TV down here?
No, please don't say that.
It is not on local TV. It's an ESPN Plus, which is a subscription.
Oh.
It's like this weird add-on, so Root Sports isn't able to show the game.
Oh.
It's on. You have to basically buy it. So now the good news is those of us that have Comcast down here, the cable company,
Right.
we have a little thing called CBC. So we'll check it out on Hockey Night in Canada. But outside of that, if you don't have that, if you're a cord cutter or satellite, whatever, you can't watch the game on the home opener. You can't watch on TV.
Is this 1992? What is it?
It feels that way. It's the Paul
82.
Allen laser vision thing. It's pay-per-view stuff. It's Sugar Ray Leonard and Hagler or something is what it is.
Yeah,
so.
we had
you go watch it closed circuit in a movie theater, I guess.
Yeah, we had pay-per-view with the Canucks not that long ago. Hey, Ian, Dave's next. We got to make time for him. Thanks for this. Go enjoy yourself a $9 bottle of water.
See you guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Ian. I appreciate it.